Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. So my name's Josh. I am a lifelong Hoosier, an attorney, and a foster parent. And that's kind of where my whole story starts to give you guys a little bit of background about myself. My wife and I met at IU and moved to Westfield, where she is from. And after many years of not being able to have our own children, we ended up becoming foster parents. Since then, we fostered 12 and adopted five of those kids. And we adopted our two oldest on March 1st, 2022. 3 weeks later, the Dobbs decision came out or was leaked out, in which Roe versus Wade was overturned. Um, and it was not just a right to abortion. So I spent the first 5 years out of law school practicing constitutional law at the Attorney General's office. And anyone that practices constitutional law can tell you that you can't just take one right away when it comes to something like that. It's like a Jenga block. And when you pull the wrong one, they all come tumbling down. So I realized so many things that we have just seen as part of rights of being Americans over the last 50 years was going to go back to the states. So I wanted to get involved and make sure I had a say about what was happening in those states, mine being Indiana. I went to the Hamilton County chair, said, what can I do to help? And she said, we don't have anybody running in our state Senate district. So in 2022, I got caucused in, meaning literally I got placed on the ballot towards the end of the election, and it was an uphill battle. That's a very different district than what I'm running for now. But the thing about it was I ended up being hopeful because as divisive as politics is, and as much as everybody's yelling at each other online, what I found going door to door is that's not Hoosiers. That's not what you're seeing and what you're hearing at the door. Most of what I heard instead was a disconnect. A lot of people don't really pay attention. And it's not that they're not smart, they're plenty smart. There's a lot of things going on. One of the best analogies I ever heard for this was it's like someone that is a die-hard football fan trying to watch baseball. They know every player on their football team back in, inside and out, but they're not big baseball fans. So when they go to watch baseball, they get the general ideas, but they don't know who the players are. They don't know which team is better, so on and so forth. And that's what I saw with a lot of people when I was talking to them at the doors. There were certain issues they cared about, but then how they were voting wasn't matching up. And so fast forward another year or two later, the incumbent for House District 24, Donna Shively, who's a Republican, has been there 14 years, I believe, announced that she's retiring. So it's an open seat. It was open on our side too. So I ran, and that's what I'm continuing to do now. Look, the whole purpose of ReCenter is why we're doing this, why all four of us are doing this. And I don't want to speak for everyone else, but I can tell you for me, it's important that one, the temperature come down, but two, that we just start working to get things done. And one of the best ways we can do that is when you have to work together to get things done. So for anyone that doesn't know, right now in our state house, the Republicans have a supermajority. They have 70 of the 100 seats. Now they don't get 70% of the vote, but that's gerrymandering, and that's for another Zoom. But they can start the session even without us. I mean, there's basically no bargaining power, right? And that is not what Hoosiers want. And I'll tell you, that's not really even what businesses want. They'll never admit it, but I have been told by multiple elected Republicans that I hope, this is them saying this, they hope we break the supermajority. So we get back to the point where now Republicans and Democrats have to work together, because it's not an automatic shoe-in that everything that they want to do is going to get passed. In addition, look, our politicians are our leaders, right? And if someone can go out there and just spew as much vitriol as they want, that's going to trickle down in how people talk. And if we are all in there and now you see a supermajority broke and you have Democrats and Republicans working together, it's a lot harder to talk bad about somebody that you personally know. So you're going to see not just more things get done at the state level. I also think you're going to see the politicians start to take the level down. And I think that will trickle down. Now, of the 4 districts, we all have a great chance to win. I want to tell you guys a little bit about mine and why we have such a good chance to win. So within my district, I have most of Westfield and about a quarter of Carmel, a sliver of Zionsville, and Sheridan. And within that district, last year you had 3 city council campaigns that were fully encompassed. 2 of them, the Democrats won, and one of them, my wife, Alexis, was only 23 votes from being the first Democrat elected in Westfield. This is a rapidly changing district that already was moving towards a more middle ground. We're going to get there faster because, one, we're putting in the work, but frankly, my opponent is about as far out there as you can get. And that's just not what our district is about. If you can ask any real estate agent, the number one reason that people move there is because that's where they want their kids to go. They know it's a great community, it's great schools, and they don't want somebody that's going out there and vilifying teachers, and they don't want somebody that's not going to support public schools, because that's why most of them are moving there. So we have a great chance to win. We have a great reason to win. And I think we're doing all the work that we need to do to get us there. So thank you, everyone, for having me. I appreciate this, and I appreciate everything that ReCenter is doing.